Hello and welcome back to Shakesyear. We are working on a funeral elegy, and today we're going to take a look at lines 171 to 196. And so far we've heard that Sir William Peter was a really great man, and there was a little bit of a sidebar to say that the author is not necessarily such a great man. But in yesterday's lines it circled back around to focusing on Sir William Peter and sort of shifting from saying how great he was to how great he will be remembered, which is sort of an extension of the same thought, but saying as his story of how he was unjustly murdered at such a young age is told through the years, pretty much everybody is going to find that story to be really sad. And line 171 picks up saying, "For when the world lies wintered in the storms of fearful consummation, and lays down the unsteady change of his fantastic forms, expecting to be overthrown, when the proud height of much affected sin shall ripen to a head, and in that pride end in the miseries it did begin, and fall amidst the glory of his tide, then in a book where every work is writ, shall this man's actions be revealed to show the gainful fruit of well-employed wit, which paid to heaven the debt that it did owe. Here shall be reckoned up the constant faith, never untrue, where once he love professed, which is a miracle in men, one saith, long sought, though rarely found. And he is best who can make friendship in those times of change, admired more for being firm than strange. When those weak houses of our brittle flesh shall ruined be by death, our grace and strength, youth, memory and shape that made us fresh, cast down and utterly decayed at length, when all shall turn to dust from whence we came, and we low-levelled in a narrow grave, what can we leave behind us but a name, which, by a life well led, may honor have?" So this is taking the what happens after he dies and how his story will be told through the ages sort of to the ultimate extreme, saying that once the world is destroyed and there's this book that exists that has every possible story ever written in it, that book is going to say how great Sir William Peter was, because he used his wit well, and he was just a good guy, which is very hard to find. It's hard to find somebody that, it sticks to it. Somebody that is true and faithful and kind and honest. It's very rare to find that kind of man. So he will be remembered even when the rest of the world is gone and destroyed. And then in the last few lines, it gets a little bit more specific, saying, when we die, when we decay, when our bodies are gone, really what is left other than your name? There really isn't anything, when your body is rotting in the ground, the only thing that you really have to leave behind is your name. And if you lived well, maybe your name will be remembered with honor, is sort of where this little chunk of this elegy lands or ends. It's getting a little heady. I'm trying to picture this both as like a written piece, but also as something that was actually spoken at a funeral, and whether or not it was actually spoken at a funeral or at a wake or some sort of gathering, I have no idea. But I can sort of start to see some of the crowd tuning out at this point as it gets a little esoteric. But we'll see. We'll see if it remains esoteric or if it comes back to things that are more concrete. Maybe gets a little exciting to wake the crowd back up. I'm not exactly sure, but yeah. Sir William Peter was apparently an amazing man who will be remembered long after time has stopped, and hopefully maybe the best that we can all hope for in the end is that our names will be remembered well once we're gone. So yeah, that's today's segment. I'll see you tomorrow for more. Mwah.